your hand?
Yes.
I know that's right. Now, ain't nobody tell us apart.
All right. We are live, guys. We are live. How is everybody doing out there today?
Hey,
Everyone,
Jill.
we're good. I'm good.
Y'all good? Y'all good?
Yeah, good. We're good.
No, look at Marissa. All right. So, there you go. I got a question. All right. So, hi, y'all. My name is Tiffany Fuller. I am with Financial Wellness, and I have my amazing team here with me today. And we have decided to start a podcast. So we're actually going to be doing this every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to just be discussing a lot of the details and the truths that people don't tell you when it comes to, business formation, starting a business, life insurance, retirement, how not to live paycheck to paycheck. So a lot of financial literacy here, how to properly grow your business. So we're going to be talking about all of those different things, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Because what happens, we have a lot of people that talk about these things and they just show you the luxury side of everything, right? They don't show you what's all in between. So that's what we're here for. We are going to tell the untold truth. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and let my panel here introduce themselves. But guys, they are phenomenal. I love all of them. We all work together. And, with us, it's not just one person that's successful. We're all successful. They all help me within financial wellness. But guess what? They all have their own businesses too. And I support them as well. We help each other grow. We create other leaders. So that what makes us so different and make us stand out from everybody else.
It's hard to go after that, Tiff. Man, who's next?
You just knocked it out the park. That was nice. That was really nice. I mean,
okay. Thank you. Jesus. All right, well, I'm just gonna call on somebody then.
That's what makes it fun.
Who is gonna be the lucky one? All right, I'm gonna pick Marissa.
I knew he's gonna do that. Hi everyone, my name is Marissa Cotton, also known as the 9-to-5 Exit Slayer. I specialize in helping entrepreneurs to properly set up their business and properly put together a strategic plan to leave their 9-to-5 for their business. And part of that, big portion of that, is finances. And that's where I come in with taxes and finances, helping to make sure that you have everything in order so that you can live your own dream.
There you go. Awesome. Who's going to be number 2? Do I got to pick again?
I'm going to go Vivian.
Oh, Marissa. There it is.
Well, all righty. My name is Vivian Jackson, and I have, my background is credit and debt collections. I have over 10 years of experience working in the credit. I don't like to call it, credit repair is where I started out. But everybody and their cousin's granddaughter can do credit these days. Let's just keep it real.
There you go.
A lot of my clients come back to me as repeat offenders. So I like to call myself now a credit strategist, right? Because a lot of times people are getting their credit repaired or they're getting it fixed, but the education on how to maintain that credit is not there. So they constantly find themselves in the same rut over and over again, right? Making the same poor financial decisions, making mistakes, applying for too much credit, or just not necessarily knowing how to strategize and plan out those credit goals that they're working towards, rather that's personal or professional. I recently started dabbling into business credit, and business credit is just a whole different avenue all within itself, but it can also be a luxury if it's done properly. So that's my area of expertise. I do have 3 businesses. I love working on financial wellness platform, but I do have a credit business. I have a paint party business as well, and I also have a virtual call center business. So everybody knows that the most people that make a lot of money, they don't have one stream of income, you guys. So we have to get with it and make sure that we're making sure that we're financially set to leave those 9-to-5s or to, build 9-to-5s for other people. So that's
Yeah.
me.
All right, who you gonna pick next, Vivian?
I am picking. There's a magical number that I'm thinking in my head between 1 and 10.
Oh, I'm a herder.
Quintinette, please give me your number.
That would be number 6.
Elaine, can you give me a number?
Number 10.
Elaine has to go.
I should have said 5. Okay, so it's all right. Thanks, Vivian. Anyway, my name is Elaine Capron. I am the co-founder of Capron and Associates. My husband and I both run that business. What I do is retirement planning, insurance, and piggyback on Vivian, Debt Free for Life, through insurance products. So what I teach people is how to make their insurance products their retirement plan. I enjoy the retirement section of it, but let's get real. What Vivian was saying was absolutely true. But in order to retire, you have to retire your debt.
Amen.
So everybody talks about retirement. Nobody knows how to do retirement where they actually have enough money to live, survive, and then they incur debt. So I can tell you how many of my clients actually sit down and tell me that they want to retire, but they want to refinance their house or borrow money so they can pay off their debt. Sorry, but that doesn't work. And then most people use retirement. They do retirement, but the way they do it, here's our tax portion of it. They do it where it's taxable income. So how about retiring with income that's non-taxable?
Non-taxable. Amen.
There it is.
So I enjoy my platform with Tiffany. I enjoy using the software. I enjoy the one-on-one relationship that we have. And then I get to hear about all the other relationships and piggyback. I know a couple of times, Vivian, you and I talked, but we need to talk a little bit more. But
we all need to talk.
We all need to talk. So I know, I love my platform. I've been doing taxes since 1997. I actually started doing taxes because I went to 2 different places who messed up my taxes. And I said, you know what? I'm going to learn how to do it myself. And I find that I enjoy doing corporate taxes. Individual taxes are nice, but I always did enjoy a challenge. And Tiffany knows that. I love being challenged.
Yes.
So, I love doing taxes since 1997. I have my insurance license. Retirement planning is a passion of mine. And my next thing for income purposes is 501c3s. So formatting companies and teaching people how to maintain.
Yes, Jesus.
So I enjoy doing that. And a lot of people have questions on how people do things in 501c3s. So that's what I do. Now, my passion, everybody knows, Tiffany knew I was going to do this, is God. So God first and everything else comes after.
There you go. Yes, absolutely.
My business feeds my passion. And that's how I look at it.
And you know what? That's why we have been able to accomplish what we have done. And this is why we were all connected. We have all been connected for years. We didn't know each other personally. None of us went to school together. We don't even live in the same state.
No.
But what we have built is phenomenal. Like, these are not just business partners. These are my sisters. And I'm talking about sisters for life. Guys, how you out here and, you want to build this major platform. And a lot of times we try to bring the people that we came up with or our family members, and they don't really see the vision and they don't understand the vision, right? And we waste so much time trying to convince them to understand the vision and come along with us. And when you can separate yourself from that, I mean, it's nothing but elevation, from that point. It is just so phenomenal. I mean, I can go on and on about that, but I'm not. But I'm telling you, what we got here is very powerful, and I just love it because you know what? You can be so much more successful when you have a team of leaders as opposed to you trying to be the leader and everybody else is following. You're the leader and you don't want to share too much information because you are afraid that they may surpass you or make more money than you. That's not what it's about over here. I push everybody. They push me. We like, come on, let's get it. What I got to do? What you want to do next? Let's do this. Let's do that. And we support each other. You know, we are the real definition of that. You know, I wish y'all could just feel the passion inside of me because
I got it.
It is so true. And it's so remarkable because it's like when you build something like the things that we have, and overall in the podcast, we'll get more and more detailed as we do them weekly. But the things that we have all accomplished, and really, even though we're sisters now, we accomplished it with strangers. Mm-hmm. You know, people that we didn't know. Some of us didn't even see each other in person yet. And we built this strong, unbreakable bond.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, it's just amazing. And can't nobody do nothing like that but God.
Yes.
You know, so I second that. Everybody, we first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and my son
all in.
Comment 6. Okay, that's the only way to do, you know, what we do. So, and even on our platform, a team of people that work for us, we build them into leaders. You know, the only time that you don't become a leader with us if you choose not to, because some people want to stay in the background, right? And if you say that that's really your comfort zone and you don't want to, you know, you don't want to go past where you are, we respect that. But we also make sure that you are great in the position that you're in.
Mm-hmm. Quintinette ain't go yet.
I'm sorry. I was going to say that. Quintinette didn't go yet. Wait.
That's okay. That's okay, because that was a great segue.
Thank you.
All right. Well, let me introduce you.
Okay.
All right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Quintinette. Now I want everybody over here to meet Miss Quintinette Diller Johnson. Okay. She is awesome in what she do. And I love her. Get it, girl.
Really? Was that some humming going along?
You heard me in the background?
for that introduction. And like I was saying, that was a great segue into how you say you can, you know, some people do not want to be a leader. Some people don't want to step into that role. And when I think about when I first joined your platform as a partner, you know me, I was like, oh no, I never get an Ethan. I don't want no Ethan. I don't want to do that. I don't, no. You know, that was not me. I just wanted to do taxes. I love making the numbers turn from black to green. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't want to do none of the rest of that. But anyway, my background is actually in business administration. I was with the University of Oklahoma for 20 plus years in a medical facility running the day-to-day operations. But my true passion is really human resources and people. I have a way of connecting people together. And when you talk about God, it's all him, you know, because you have to know how to talk to people. There's a way to talk to people. And don't get me wrong, it's those that you just want to reach out and choke. However, you know, different people have different learning styles, different people, you can't talk to them a certain way that you talk to other people. And that's one of the things that I always focus on. Just I sit back and I listen. So a lot of times I'm quiet and people think that, oh, she don't talk much, but I'm observing, I'm listening, and I guarantee you I can run it back to you. I can definitely run it back to you. I have organizational skills that are really unmatched. I'm very good at organizing, and I really focus on building people. The name of my business, by the way, is QM Investments and Financial Planning. So it's investing in people, connecting people and businesses together. I did start completing business formation packets for people, doing classes for LLC, sole proprietor, you know, kind of breaking that down and what that looks like, because some people have no idea. And like Tiffany was mentioning, you know, they get a business and they think that, oh, I'm done. This is it. That's far from done. Anybody can get a piece of paper. And if that's what you want is just a piece of paper to say you have it, that's not a business. No. Just like she said. So, you know, also I do budgeting for people. I'm a financial analyst. I do bookkeeping. Bookkeeping is something that has grown on me. I didn't think that was something I wanted to do when I first left corporate America, but things just keep adding and building on. And I am very surprised how things are growing, because I was ready to give it up after the first year. It was like, I'm done. I'm done. You know, I'm going back to corporate America. I'm done. But
And see, that's a key point. And
couldn't
most
do it. You
businesses
know,
fail within
yes,
the
I
first
had
5
Tiffany,
years.
you know, like, no, Quintinette,
First
no,
year.
we're going to do this. We're going to do this. You know, we can do this. Nope. Okay, let's do this. Well, what'd you do this? You need to do more of this. You know, and I take constructive criticism very well.
Yes, she
And
does.
if you listen and pay attention, you can get there if that's what you really want, but you have to want it yourself as well. So
Mhm.
being on the platform, it is definitely engaging. It's entertaining, to say the least. You come across so many, you know, a variety of personalities and people, and just dealing with people, you know, and that's one of the things that I love is dealing with people. So that's why I'm here. That's why I'm sticking. Oh, one more thing.
Go ahead, girl.
So, you know, I said I never wanted to get an EFIN. I didn't want to do all that. Well, me, I was trying to surprise Tiffany. That lets you know how much Tiffany actually, you know, pours into me or talk to me or encourages me. I was trying to surprise her. I done went and applied for my EFIN and everything, got it all. And when I was doing my end of review a couple years ago or whatever, I was like, Tiffany, guess what? She was like, what? I applied for my EFIN. And I didn't even tell her or anything. So I was just excited because she had poured that into me and she believed in me. So that's
Thank
my
you.
story.
Oh, I'm happy to be around you guys. Thank you. You guys, we did good. We did good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
You did good.
Tiffany,
Awesome. So
I think this is like accolades for Tiffany because this was her idea, right?
It
So
was.
Tiffany sat there for the last 3 years. Elaine, you need to have people under you. I was like, Tiffany, I do not have the patience to have people. And you know how I am. So you would call me to fire. See, I'm the HR person that would fire. But, I mean, I live in a right to fire state, right? So, like,
Wait, so question. So is the job after HR taxes and accounting? Because I was HR too for over 15 years.
what's going on now?
that's all right. Because you have to know how to you have to do what we do, you have to know how to talk to people, how to manage them. And you do have to have patience and take you have to take a lot of deep breaths, right?
Yes.
And we know how to do those things. The question is, do you want to do it?
There you go.
And that was the biggest thing. You know, I've had my EFIN forever, like forever. And Tiffany has been like, Elaine, you need to have a platform under you. And I'm like, no, I don't. Because I hear you. You
really
call
did.
me up and I hear, and I'm like, do you want me to fire them? Because I'll do it for you, Tiffany. You know,
I'm like, wait a minute. Give just one more chance, Tiffany. Just one more.
See, Quintinette is the one that will say one more time. Vivian
Her
is the
and
one that
Vivian.
she'll be the fielder. Like, I'll field that for you. You know, Marissa, I'm like,
That's
but I'm
to a
the one that
certain
says,
point,
listen,
though.
let me
To a
fire
certain
them.
point. Because if I get to that point, it's like,
That's it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
that's it. I'm done.
But then,
I'm
you
done.
know, when you get that's when you're working with other people, right? But now here we are, we're talking about our clients that are building businesses and
Right.
doing these taxes, these corporate returns, and having the conversation. Having the conversation. What type of company do you have? I'm not sure.
Yeah. They know nothing. They know nothing, which makes it very hard for us to properly service you. And that's definitely one of the reasons why we wanted to talk about this, and that's why we chose to do business formation, the untold truth, right? Because business formation is not one size fits all, and that's what everybody needs to understand. If you are talking to somebody as far as business formation, and just to let you know, all of us on this platform, we all do business formation. Okay, so we are here to help you. But if you go to somebody else and you say you're looking to start a business and they immediately say to you, I'm just going to use this as an example. Oh, well, yeah, awesome. You should form an S Corp. I think you should go find somebody else, right? And not saying that S Corp is not the right fit for you, but how do they know that? You know,
Right.
there are pros and cons to every single business formation, right? And then even when you form, let's say an S Corp, you have to properly form it. Most people don't have their businesses formed properly.
Ready
Most
for no S
people
corp.
don't even know what they have. Most people don't know what their tax liability is, what they're responsible for, how they're supposed to pay their employees, how they supposed to pay themselves based off of their business formation. You know, they have no idea of what they're supposed to do. They just know that they have a piece of paper and they have an EIN number and they want to run with it. When in reality, it's so much in between that. And that's really why we're here today. And we're definitely
Yes.
going to talk about that, guys. Feel free. I see a few people over here commenting. Feel free to ask
Yes.
questions that you have. I do have Jamil watching the actual comments more frequently than we are, so that we can go ahead and answer those questions for you. We're going to try to make sure that we answer everybody's question. If we don't answer it on the live, we will definitely answer it once it is over. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to go ahead and just talk about it. You know, let's just talk about the different business formations that is out there, and we'll tell you, you know, how they're supposed to be formed, the do's and the don'ts, you know, and let you know why it's not a one size fits all, and how you can change your business structure. But what a lot of people don't know is you can't go backwards. So, you know, you can't say, I'm going to be an escort. Oh, I don't like this. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh my God, no, I don't want to.
I want to be a sole proprietor now.
You want to be a sole proprietor. It don't work like that, you know. But that's not what people tell you, you know. And another thing, even when you start a business, guess what? You got to file a tax return, whether you make money or not.
Thank you.
People think, oh, I ain't make no money, and they just put it in the shoebox. That's not how it works. You
Oh,
still
so I can't just keep the money as side money?
No.
There they go.
It's
Keep
a
it
side
in the
hustle, right?
Guess what? Until they need it for something.
A
I
loan,
want to buy a house.
business credit.
You ain't got enough money. I got a business. But guess what? On paper, you have no income, no type of cash flow. So that's just another thing, you know.
I like this one. I run a grocery store, but I also have a lawn service business, and under that same company, I'm like,
No differentiation. Yeah.
No.
And I make
Did you
t-shirts.
tell the IRS you
And all the
did?
money go to the same place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why did you go food shopping with this business account? Go ahead, Quintonetta. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and let the platform go. They're gonna kind of just talk about the different business formations, and also, you know, a formation. Elaine is going to talk about a formation that most people don't even know exists. So here we go. Whoever want to take the floor, you got it.
So I have a question. I'm going to play devil's advocate because I know with all of us being in the field.
All right, Sally.
What's a business? Is it a business or is it a hobby? Let's start there, right? I think that's important. Is it a business or is it a hobby? Before we even start formations, right? I think let's speak on that. I think we should kind of get that out of the way, to maybe wean out people that might not really need to form businesses, or might be forming businesses for the wrong reasons. You cannot form a business just for financial gain in terms of business credit to buy fly cards. It's a whole bunch of groups out here that promote or help you with business credit, that help you with things. But listen, you have to make sure that your passion is pushing your profits, okay? Because if you're in it for the wrong reasons, your business will fail beyond your paperwork, okay?
There you go.
So that's important. I think, like you said, when we're talking to our clients, if we're asking them questions, we can all use discernment. We've done this enough to know if a person is really, if they really have a business or if they just don't. You know, don't create businesses just to write off your taxes because you're making too much on your 9 to 5.
Yeah, there you go. Or you know what? You got those people who don't have enough income now. So let's say they didn't work a lot, right? Especially recently because of COVID, right? A lot of people was losing their jobs. They were ill. So, you know, now you want to create, oh, I'm a hairdresser. Well, are you?
Unlike,
you know, you're a hairdresser, and I have had people come and say that to me. And I'm like, well, let me see a copy of your license, because, you know, you're actually required.
I did sell some meals,
you know, and just that. And you know, what's the crazy part? They will make up these businesses, right? Because they want to get money. They have no type of records, no type of receipts, no type of anything. And they'll do it for 1 year. And then next year, the business just disappears. And then you wonder why years later, IRS is knocking at your door. Like, it doesn't work like that. You don't just stop. Okay, the business didn't make any money, or I decided not to do that anymore. What, did you dissolve the business?
Dissolve it with paperwork, you guys. That's right.
Not just
You
quit.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking because I'll be talking. for a
No,
minute.
don't
Yeah.
stop. And I know it gets to the point.
Not every
I
business.
fired a client.
That's true. Not every business
I
needs to be
fired
an
a client.
LLC.
Actually, I was doing their taxes, and the wife said, well, what if I say? And I was like, what, if you say it and you don't have backup, it's not going on here. And she kept saying, but what if? And I said, here's the what if. You're fired.
There you go.
And here's my problem. And her husband was really upset with me. And I said, this is my problem, because if your wife will say what if, and I know that it's not a true thing, this is a what if because you want more money back.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to show more of a loss. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut ties now, because you're going to get audited in the future, and it won't be one of my files.
And they coming back to you, right? That's
There
what
you
happened
go.
to us.
So you're fired. And what I've done for you so far, I know is right, because I didn't just ask you what your profit and loss was. I asked for your bank statement, so I know that your profit and loss adds up to what's on your bank.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're fired, because I'm not too sure about what you will present to me later.
Mhm.
I don't have a problem with firing people. This is and I started off that way, right? But this is
I know you did, didn't you?
It's not about just about the money. It's about what you're doing with your business. Are you trying to have a viable business? And my biggest question to most of my clients when they come to me about business formation is, what is your vision on this business? What's your mission? What's your vision? What demographics are you going to be working in? Is it a viable business within that demographics? How much money do you really think you can make? Did you even do the research? If you can't
have
answer
a business plan, come on now.
I don't want Capron and Associates
Exactly.
attached to you.
Yes.
So you need to be able to answer your own questions to know that this business is going to be successful. I don't want you coming back and saying, well, I started a business and she helped me and it wasn't successful. I need to be attached to all successful places. Businesses that I do work with has to be successful at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
So part of my requirements is answering those questions, because you want to pay me. You're going to pay me good money, but you want good service.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
That's
And
right.
that's how I give good service.
Yes, you do. Excellent service. Yeah. All right, and Marissa, because I heard you saying something, but I couldn't really hear you when
Oh, I said not every business needs to be an LLC. Some people just need to be a sole proprietor.
Mm-hmm.
For some states like California, an LLC is $75 to start, but the upkeep of it is $800 a year.
Okay.
So if your business is you're just making like $100 a month, or $300 every 2 months or so, you may not need an LLC yet.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, it also depends on what type of business you are. If you are serving food or any type of lotions or creams or things of that nature, you might want to get an LLC. If it breaks out and they turn around and sue you, they can now go after your personal assets. But if you're just making like shirts, keychains, cups, something simple, you may not necessarily need an LLC until you start making more money to sustain it. So just jumping into an LLC and, like they said, just jumping into an S corp, totally not the thing to do.
Right.
There you
So
go.
I like that, Marissa, because they can work their way up the ladder
Right.
for the
There you
business
go.
structures instead of trying to go all the way to the top when sometimes we're not even ready to be there. So
Right. If you like it, it could be a clothing boutique. I've seen so many clothing. Ooh, I'm not even gonna talk about these pandemic companies and businesses, but I've seen so many clothing boutiques. Like they start them, and they realize like they're not getting the support that they thought they would get, and so it's like 3-4 months down the line, and now they quit. Well, you only made 500. You put 1,000 into it, but you probably could have waited on spending that money on the LLC until you got with your branding, your marketing, really found your niche and what you really wanted to do, or your client base, and see if it's really what you want to do, and if it's going to return the investment that you want to return. If not, it's really a waste of your time and money. So it's kind of best to kind of test out that market first, even if it's food. Obviously, you're going to test out that market, make some gumbo for some people, some tacos, burgers, or whatever. If they say, oh, girl, you should start a business, then you may look into it. But if they see them go, okay, thank you for the food, baby, go put that in the kitchen.
Yes.
Then you may not want to start that business.
that's right.
Well, and then here's the second part to it. Once you figure out that this is a viable business and it's time for you to start a company, right? It's time to format. You have to ask yourself a question. When I format and when I get bigger, because I've now done my homework and I know I'm going to get bigger, is a probability that I'm going to work this forever, or am I going to possibly sell it?
Mm.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
I'm gonna move on to that franchising.
Information you can't sell. They make you dissolve it, and you're selling the name and the brand. So if you're dissolving the name, and the name and the brand goes together. So if you have to dissolve it at the end of the day, then you are selling nothing.
And that brings up another point, because a
Yeah.
lot of people do not realize that you actually need to dissolve the business. I mean, they just have no clue. Oh, well, I'm just not doing it anymore. So they just let it go, think that there's nothing left to do. Also, with the annual renewal fee, with the LLC, like, oh, I didn't realize I had to do that. So now you have to get it reinstated.
Yeah.
So a lot of
Some
people-
states have the annual renewal fee. Yep. Some states have the annual renewal fee. Some states don't. And, and that's why it's very important to do your own research, even when you're seeking a professional, right? Because all professionals don't tell you everything, and some of them do that on purpose. Some of them do not, and sometimes things happen with those professionals. Maybe they get sick, they retire, people pass away. So just like you've been hearing everybody speaking as far as doing your own research, that is so important, because people don't do their own research, and then they trust the words of others, right? And then they get into situations that could have been prevented if you would have just done your own research, because I think that, I don't know, I just honestly think that it's ridiculous, because I know when I have formed businesses, I would get excited. I want to know everything, even if I'm not doing everything, right? Because the reality too, when you look at it on the other side, that's how people get ripped off, right? Because they have no idea what's going on. They don't understand nothing on the back end. And I mean, everybody see it, especially with movie stars. They making millions and billions of dollars. And, they owe a whole bunch of money in taxes, because maybe they hired an accountant who
Credit messed up.
supposed to do, or they had somebody else working on their books, and they done took their money. They didn't even realize they was taking their money until they took about $10 million. And it's not because they had a lot of money that they didn't recognize. It's because they wasn't paying attention and they didn't understand the process.
Right.
Yes.
Those two tracking,
go hand in hand.
tracking. Exactly.
And like Elaine said, as far as the businesses, because some business formations you can't sell. Those things are very important. And then what if you want to create? Are you just building a business for your lifetime, or are you looking to create a legacy? Right? What are you trying to do? So if you are trying to create a legacy, it's certain things you have to put in place. If you are building a business, you should be able to eventually walk away from your business and the business is working itself.
That's right.
And you don't have to be there. Right? And a lot of people don't put it together like that, or a lot of people think, oh, can't nobody do it better than me, or you don't want to trust nobody. But guess what? You have to. You got to pray about it. Ask God to send those right people to you, and they will be there. And one thing I could tell you that a lot of people shy away from that. I do. Oh, I love getting people, brand new people that don't know nothing about nothing. We want to know why? Because you can train them properly, and they can run your business properly. So I think that that's a good thing, to feed into those people, to feed into individuals. I go to, fast food restaurants, people that are making minimum wage, and I seek and I recruit those individuals. A lot of people, look down on them at times, and say, oh, they just want to get help from the government. And that's not the case. That's not the case with everybody. I know wealthy people that's trying to get help from the government or using the government. So that's not what it is. But the way I look at it, those people that work those minimum wage jobs, they are there every day. They are doing as much overtime as they can. And every month they are still in the negative. Right? I look at it as they are very dedicated individuals, some of the most hardworking people that you will ever see and come across. So if you can get somebody like that on your platform and you can train them and allow them to manifest with you, they're not going to do nothing but greatness. It's like people got to look at it different. And stop looking down on people and look into them and look at their potential and what they really can do. Sometimes they just have not crossed paths with the right people, and sometimes, people do things so that they can survive, so it's not necessarily that they're lazy, because lazy people are everywhere. I don't care what your income level is or where you're working at. So I just really wanted to definitely just put that out there, because that's definitely a big thing. I know we kind of all over the place, y'all, ain't we, with everything, but I think
It's just so much information. You just don't know where to start,
we kind of, but I definitely want to, let's touch base, more on the business formation, kind of talk about that. And like I said, to everyone that's watching, we definitely going to be here. We're going to do this every single week. We're going to do different, topics, and we're kind of just going to, put it out there. And the way that we're doing it, it's more of just like a discussion panel. Like you see us now, we're having conversations. We're giving you the information. And, eventually as this grow, we definitely want people to engage, right? Engage and ask us questions. And, we can give you our input on that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and let somebody else go now.
I just have to say also, when we say do your research, that does not mean going into these random Facebook groups and asking questions from these random people. Because baby, they business ain't set up. No. Go to a reputable person. If that person, what I like to do, one thing I teach my clients is that if you're going to be on Facebook, you're going to be promoting your business and talking about business and giving advice, then I'm going to want to go back to your profile and see what you're all about. Now, if I click on your profile and it's not a representation somehow of your business, how can I really take you seriously? Mm-hmm. For those that know me, you go to my Facebook page, you click on my profile picture, it's me. But you click on my it's a little bit about me, who I am, what I represent, and what I do. Because if I'm going to sit there and give someone business advice, I want them to find me credible. I don't want them to find me as someone that's just getting advice or knowing something. Because if you get in trouble from the IRS and you give them the excuse that, oh, well, that's what I was told in such and such Facebook group, but they're going to laugh at you and still give you that bill with interest and penalties. Okay, but here's your bill. So just make sure that you guys go to reputable people, and please don't get lost in Google. Like, we are here to actually help you. I've met all these ladies. I haven't met any of them in person, to take the truth. I met actually through Tiffany. I found Tiffany on the bus stop. No, I'm just kidding. I found Tiffany by the grace of God, and I actually came in fighting. And the way I came at Tiffany, she's a sweetheart, because I came in fighting. It was some problems. But it wasn't with her. It was with someone she knew. But I say that to say that I can vouch for these ladies, that they are true to what they speak, and prayerfully they can vouch for me too. Like, you have people out here like us that can actually help you with business formation, knowing how to properly set up your business, knowing that if you have a business, you need to actually have bookkeeping. It doesn't have to be QuickBooks. It can be a spreadsheet. It can be that old school, what do you call them things? With the
Excel, pinch trackers.
Excel, Pinstripe. It can be a ledger. I don't care if you put a pen and paper in a notebook.
A binder. Please don't call it the Bible. That's all I got to say.
Well, no, I never.
Please don't call it the Bible. So the thing about the QuickBooks, that's why when I'm saying, you got to know where you're going with your business. Mm-hmm. You really need to know where you're going with your business. Starting up a business, yes, it's all right to use Excel in the beginning, but you need to know what you're putting in there. There are programs out there that you can actually utilize. They'll walk you through the step setup for your own business, so that when you contact Vivian for a loan or business formation loan, whatever you're contacting Vivian for, that thing, because she's going to need it. She's not going to take an Excel spreadsheet. She's going to ask you for a profit and loss and a balance sheet.
And neither will the banks. If you're applying for loans, business loans, they're not taking that, and you have to file your taxes. I'm glad you guys are talking about that, because that is so important. They underreport the business income, apply for $100,000 loan, but say they made $10,000 in their business. Who gonna give you a loan for $100,000 and you showing that you profited $10K?
And there's even software out there that's free.
You can have a spreadsheet.
Wait, say it again. Hold on.
There's even
when you're brand new, starting and testing that business, it's okay to have a spreadsheet because you need to know your numbers. But
that's what I said. When you're brand new, but you need to don't keep doing it, right? Because I know a company that is major, and believe me, they called it the Bible, and I was like, me and the person that was looking at it.
That's why you said the Bible.
I have no idea what this is, and why are they using this type of information? I mean, really, and literally the numbers were all wrong, and we knew it.
Oh, they was cooking the books.
So no, it's just the person doesn't know what they're doing.
Right. And they have to grow with their business. They
You
can't
gotta
continue
grow
on
with
a
your business.
on a
As you grow,
spreadsheet,
your
on a little
softwares,
journal.
your
You have to grow with your
accounting, all
business.
that stuff has to grow with your business.
Right.
Right.
So
You
here's the
cannot do
deal.
the same thing.
When you start your formation, that's why you started with what is a business, right? What is is it a business or a hobby?
Mhm.
Right. And then you got to figure out what it is you're trying to accomplish with this business. That
Mhm.
means that you need to do your homework about the business. And you're right, it's not Google. It's not it's not Facebook or it's none of those things. You need to go and look and do some serious detailed research about that business.
Yes.
So I'll use myself as an example and stop using my clients. But our insurance company is now taking off to be a company.
Mhm.
Right now, so that means that I need my own IMO. That means that what we're doing, we need to make sure that it encompasses everything. So we want to do not just life and health. We want to incorporate homeowners insurance and so property casualty, right? So we want to do property casualty too. So you need a business, right?
Mhm.
To cover all of those things. So where do I want to be at the end of the day? I want to be like an Allstate,
Mhm.
right?
I'm in good
So
hands.
I want to develop my own Allstate. There are no primary Black owned with female owned insurance companies out there big like Allstate. So I want to be an Allstate. That's who I want to be. I'm not going to use Elaine Capron or Capron and Associates or Capron Financial Services because I need the brand.
Mhm.
Right? So my research will be researching Allstate, how they started, what they did, all of those things before I get to that part where I'm making my name, my brand, and who am I servicing? So all of those things, and what is my demographics? What type of demographics am I dealing with? What's the income on that? So that's the research that people just don't want to do in their own business.
They don't want to do, but they want a business and they want to make $1 million, and it just doesn't work that way. And we got a question, y'all. So this question is from Marco Rankin, and the question is, what's the reasonable salary / distribution ratio for those who set up an S corp? He said salary, so he's saying 60%, 40% distribution. So I'm assuming that the question is when you set up an S corp, because we know as an S corp you have to pay yourself a reasonable salary, and you have to pay yourself as a W-2 employee, which also means that you have to pay your Medicare and Social Security on both sides as the employee and the actual employer. And then you have to file quarterly payroll taxes, and it's a lot more that comes to that. But I think what he's asking, I guess, when you set up the actual S corp, what's considered a reasonable salary? So I can answer that question, or does somebody else want to answer the question?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You can answer. You're
And then people can piggyback. It's really no set stone for a reasonable salary. And I mean, you can actually look, that's actually on the IRS website. I mean, they explain it, but it's not a set salary. I mean, a set amount per se, but it has to make sense, right? So, that's what they mean by reasonable. Does it make sense for what you're doing? So you have to look at that. So I don't know. Let's just say, I don't know. Let's just say you're a tax accountant, right? Because we talking about taxes, right? So and really a reasonable salary for a tax accountant. I mean, it can really range anywhere from under 100K to 150,000, and beyond. So you just have to. With that, it's really not a set number, Marco. It's just, you have to do your research in that field. What do people normally make, if you want to kind of assess it that way?
What is the business making?
To your
There's so many, there's variables in there because you
Yeah.
can also be setting yourself up for retirement planning through your S corp. You can be paying into your retirement planning, so that is considered part of that. You're going to write off you're going to put on your W-2. So the question would be for me, and what type of business are you running? What is the income or the projected income? Are you planning are you doing retirement planning? Are you paying your health care out of it also? And then what is your cost of living like?
Mhm.
Because if your income, if you need $60,000 or $70,000 a year for your home, your household income, then you might want to take out, that income off of W-2 and pay your taxes up front, knowing that the rest is a distribution on a K-1 side. You might want to make sure that you're making the income that you need to survive and then taking the distribution. So it really is on your own makeup on how you're doing it. And are you putting money aside also? Because you're going to have to pay taxes on whatever you get distributed through on your K-1 at the end of the day. You still have a tax liability.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Go, Elaine. So yeah, we got that question answered. And I definitely want to, because I see we've been 45 minutes already. So, and I mean,
What?
I can't believe it.
That's crazy.
Because
It's
it's
all Tiffany, right?
our first introduction and everybody's getting used to it. So I just
Yeah.
want to touch on one thing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I want you to mention, what we were talking about. Go on, Elaine. Go on, Elaine.
So a lot of clients ask me about 501c3, setting them up for them. And I do set them up. I enjoy doing it because I make them tell me things. Like I make them think about what they're setting up and how far they can take it and who they really trying to speak to. And there are a few questions that I ask. And one of the questions that I ask is, are you going to be politically involved? Are you going to lobby? What type of, I was wondering where you went.
Don't do that.
Are you going to, like, really, don't do that. Because most of the people say they want to do social welfare, right? You want to do social welfare, but you see what's going on in politics today, right? Everybody wants to know why all of these lobbyists that are supposed to be nonprofit are able to be lobbyists. Yes, they are nonprofits, but they are not just 501c3. They are actually a 501c4. A 501c4 allows you to lobby.
Golden.
Gems. Y'all pay attention, because in other places, people pay for this information. I tell this to people all the time. Like when people are blessing you with information, listen.
So if you want to be social, you're trying to do social welfare and you're trying to affect the community, but you also want to be a lobbyist. You want to be able to go into DC, Washington, and talk and have some type of, and speak about political parties and stuff like that, then that's what you need. If you want to be on a platform where you can push your candidate through your organization, then that's what you need, because you can lobby with that. A 501c3, you cannot lobby.
There you go.
In essence, you've closed your mouth. I had a young pastor tell me one time, he said, Elaine, I don't want a 501c3. And I was like, why? And he was like, because nothing I do will prohibit me from lobbying, from talking about candidates. If I don't have one, I can talk all I want. I'm still a minister, And I was like, well, go ahead with your bad self. I'm kind of like loving that thought process, because God made us all ministers, but he also gave us the law. So I kind of like, I like that he said that, but I was thinking about it today when Tiffany and I was talking. I'm like, most people ask me about a 501c3, but they never ask me about a 501c4. I don't think that they know that it exists.
Yeah. So that right there, how many of y'all didn't know that exists? Was that new information?
Mind blowing for me.
To y'all, audience, everybody out there that's watching, did y'all know, that actually exists? And this is the thing with not just finding a professional. I know Marissa, but finding the right professional, right? Yes. And the right ones that don't hold the information back. They giving it all to you, so that you can make the right informative decision. So it's like, don't just research the business, research the person that's going to be helping you establish this business. That is key. And are they in it for you, or are they just trying to, get a few dollars. They just want you to pay that invoice so they can go do whatever they need to do with that money. You need to understand that, and you need to have a conversation with them. You don't just say, hey, all right, hey, Tiffany, all right, I found you on Google. I need you to do my business formation. No, talk to me. You see what I'm saying? Let's have a conversation. Let's converse. Let's see if we're a great fit for each other, you know, and let's see if this is something that, you know, we're going to establish a business relationship long term, or it's like, hey, I got what I need and you out the door. You know, a lot of times it's great when you meet people like us on this platform, right, where it's a one stop financial
shop.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's so much.
That's what we are.
And I'm
We
laughing.
got some of everything on here. And the good thing about us is that we share.
Financial shop. Yes. Yes. And it's like,
Yes,
you know,
we
we
share.
have it where, guess what? With all of us, you know, you can start out with any one of us and we can go with you through all stages of your business, right? And we can help you make sure that everything is proper. Not only do we just do it for you, we show you how to do it, right? Because like I said, you have to understand what's going on. God forbid if something happened to one of us and you no longer can get in touch with us. You have to know what's going on, right? So that your business can still sustain. You don't want your business to dissolve once we're no longer in the picture. Right. You know, and I mean, I'm talking about we no longer here. You can't access even if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what people think about. They just think about for the moment, you know, and you have to look at longevity. And also, too, if something was to happen to one of us, when you go somewhere else, you got to be able to tell them what was going on with your business. And guess what?
Exactly.
Tell them you know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
You know, because see, then their approach is different. Trust me. Even the people out here that may be scammers or try to get over who do the right thing sometimes, right? They gonna do the right thing with you because you coming in correct. You got the stuff in order. You know what questions to ask. You know, and they're even if you don't know it 100% like we do, to them you know too much. Like, oh, wait a minute now. I gotta make sure I'm on my P's and Q's with them. But that's what you want to do. You know, and especially if you creating a legacy, right? Because if you don't know what's going on, how can a legacy exist?
Right.
How can you pass it on to someone else?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying.
If you don't know what's going on, you can.
Listen, I don't, you know, the thing, here's the other thing. Becoming your own bank.
Yes. Yes.
We set it up so that our children's children never ask. No, we don't ever have to worry about redlining. Nobody has to worry about being denied. If you become your own bank.
That's a whole new topic.
Really,
I can't wait till we talk about that one. Oh man, I mean, you know, we're going to be doing a lot of topic, guys. So the people that are watching, I mean, we're going to be talking about a whole lot of different things. You know, we're definitely also going to be doing a segment on life insurance. That's going to be a big one, you know, because we really want to put that out there. Oh my goodness, because life insurance, you know, a lot of times when people think of life insurance, especially our people, right, they just associate it with death and who's going to get the money when they pass away. And oh my God, it's so much more in life insurance. And if people really understood it, they probably would be kicking our doors in to get it. You know, it's very important. You know, like Elaine was saying earlier, you could build a tax-free retirement through life insurance. You can build a wealth building policy for your children. So by the time they 21, 22, 25, they already got their own bank, and now we're teaching them how to use it. You know, I mean, it's just so many different things that you can build in an insurance policy that people are not even aware of. I'm not going to get all into it, but it's definitely a whole lot. Definitely a segment that you don't want to miss because it's something that you really, really want to know about. You know, and that's what a lot of the wealthy people do. You know, they do this all the time, right? But in our communities, they just look at life insurance like, okay, well, when I'm gone, you get this, whatever.
Oh, I just need enough to bury myself.
Yeah,
and they don't have enough.
Not life insurance.
Don't have enough to bury themselves, and we have to ask for money from the community.
Is not
pages to bury our loved ones.
Listen, I had to tell somebody
on the side of the street with a sign.
I had to tell somebody, if you send me anybody that I've spoken to about life insurance sends me a GoFundMe account, if they get sick or if somebody dies, you can just forget me. I'm not even going to respond.
Yeah.
Because I literally talk about living benefits where you will never touch your money. If you get sick or if your children get sick, if you got a policy and you thought it was expensive, then you need to get one for your kids when it's not. Just because you're old. I was telling Tiffany today, I got a 62-year-old with a $50,000 life insurance policy, and she's paying a lot of money because she waited. She waited for that term policy to expire, and I'm like, she's like, well, why is it so? Because it's based on your age, honey, and this is how much money you want. Why wait? We are young enough now to do what we need to do, to put into place what we need to do for later, and it's affordable.
Yes.
So instead of going out, see, I got my nails done, right? See, they done. I got my nails done. But guess what's paid?
Your mortgage.
My mortgage, my life insurance, and everything else. I make sure that what I have is maintained. You know, God provides, and it's just wisdom that allows us to do the right thing with it. So why go and spend $100 on your nails getting done, and you don't have the things that you need to do when you're laying on your back and you're just taking all your money out?
Yes, there you go. I agree with that, because you know what? Oh, go ahead, Elaine. I'm sorry. What you about to say?
And then if you're unemployed, you see all these banners, hiring now. You know, the one thing that I know about Tiffany, every year I see posts, you want to learn how to do taxes. The one thing in life, as long as you live in the United States of America, is that we're going to pay taxes. And you're going to need, somebody's going to need their taxes done.
Yeah.
So why not learn? So what we're offering here is opportunities for you to be your own boss, opportunities for you to live the passion or the dream that you wanted to live. You know, that dream that somebody else came by and crushed. Even it doesn't make a difference how many kids you have, and it doesn't make any difference how many kids you have, Tiffany.
6.
Okay.
Same.
And it doesn't have any it doesn't make any difference what your background is. If you want to be self-employed, if you want to live that dream, if you want to have all the things that you need to have, and you need the information, that's what we're doing here.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And every position and everything we talk about comes with an open door for employment. Not employment, but self-employment.
Yes, being your own boss.
Be your own boss.
Yep. And you know what? And it's very important when you are seeking, you know, entrepreneurship. You know, you want to be your own boss, because you still need guidance, right? And you need other leaders to help you in that process. And that is very important, because if you don't have the right leadership, they can keep you stagnated. You know, I mean, it's really the same thing as when you're working in corporate America, right? And you have that manager. That manager can keep you stagnated, or they can really help you elevate. You know, so what type of person are they? Really looking out for you, or they just care about what they're getting from the deal? You know, so you have to look at that. Are they looking to help you grow, even when you're ready to give up? You know, you just done had enough. Are they going to tell you, well, all right, have a blessed life? You know, or are they going to sit there? They're going to cry with you. Come on, we're going to pound it. We're going to jump in. We're going to help you out until you surpass that. We're going to pray with you. We're going to help you get where you need to be, because we all go through things, right? You know, because, you know, listen, God got us, but the devil is always at work. You know what I'm saying? So guess what? You know, you have to have leadership that is really there for you. You know, that we're there for each other. And that's what we talked about, you know, when we first came on. And this is how we built this awesome team, you know, that we have. So that's just another thing you got to really think about. Who are you watching? Who are you looking up to? Who are you listening to? Right? And then even when you get the information, do your research. Even if you get it from one of us, do your research.
And retain.
And make sure that it's correct. Go on, Quinn.
That information. Now,
just write it down and retain it.
Yes,
retain that information. Important. That is very important. And just really quick, I wanted to piggyback off of when Elaine was talking, because, you know, with the life insurance, right? Because people say that it's too expensive. Listen, that's something you can never tell me, you know, it's too expensive. Yes, it's expensive if you wait till you 73 and you try to get a life insurance policy. Absolutely, it's going to be expensive, and you got all types of illnesses, and some illnesses you still can get insurance, but it's definitely going to cost you. A lot of times it's not that people can't pay, they just choose not to pay. They don't look at it as a priority. They don't think that it's important. They telling me that they can't pay because you don't have no money, but you're driving an $80,000 car, right? Then what about when you get your taxes done and you getting these big refunds? You can actually just pay for the whole year. But even with that, I don't care. Listen, I'm telling y'all, and this is the iconic. Listen, when I got 6 kids now. When I only had 2 kids, and I actually was in school, I was getting a 2nd degree, and I only was working 2 days a week. By the grace of God. That's all I could think. How did you manage? It was by the grace of God. But guess what? In that time, and at that time, I wasn't doing insurance. But in my mind, that was a priority over everything for me, when it came to the things that I was financially responsible for. Because in my mind, it was, if something happened to me, I wanted to make sure that my children was financially set. I didn't want them to go through an emotional crisis and a financial crisis at the same time. You got people out here, you ask, what's the most important thing to you? And most people say my children and my family, but that's the one thing you don't protect because you think that it's, too much money, or you think that it's a scam. You think of every single excuse instead of doing what you actually need to do. If you can get up here, you telling me you broke all year, but you managed to spend $1,500, $2,000 on Christmas, or you got $300 hair bundles in your head. Well, guess what?
Not for the year. Not that bundle lasts all year long.
That's a month. That's
there. You got that straight bundle. Okay. They be mixing that
and the reality of it is, guys, life insurance is actually very affordable. It is actually very affordable. And that's the sad part. And people just look at it as not being important. And it's like, I'm with Elaine. I have told my family members, my friends, everybody, I love y'all. Now, y'all all know we do insurance. Now, I done told you about it. And if you choose not to get it, if you go before me, I need you to understand that I'm not donating to no GoFundMe. And it's not that I'm trying to be smart, but see, if you didn't think that it was important, right? If you didn't think that it was important to invest in yourself, how can you get mad or fault somebody else for not doing that? Right? At that point, it's a decision that they get to make. But you can't be mad at them about that because you didn't do it. And it was for you. That is just such a big thing to me. And I just don't understand. I just don't understand it. I try to understand their reasoning behind it.
No,
it doesn't make sense.
But if it starts to make sense, we got to start worrying about you. We all going to have to lay hands if it starts making sense to you.
But I definitely wanted to just say that. I know that this one's about life insurance, y'all, but I just had to really put that out there. We are just over an hour now. And our goal is to try to keep it at about 30 to 45 minutes. We know as time go on, we might reach that hour with the audience engaging and stuff like that. But I want to, allow the platform at this time. If anybody got any final things that they would like to say, this will be the time. I mean, I said what I had to say, and just want to let y'all know we are doing this every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Again, you can ask us questions. We are very open to answering questions that you may have. We want this to be very engaging for everyone. All right. So I hope y'all all enjoyed yourself, and I'm going to let the platform do what they do.
I'm looking forward to next week. I am looking forward to us talking in detail about the different formations that are out there. This was great for our first week in doing this. I'm hopeful that we'll have more people attending and watching next week. And at least if they saw it or they see it, they can come with their questions in hand already so that we can ask and they can ask and we can answer questions. The one thing about us is that if we don't know between us, the 5 of us, we will go find out.
Okay.
So, that is the one thing about us that is consistent. I am really happy, Tiffany, that you put this together. And I'm happy to work with all of y'all, all of you.
Oh,
Vivian, you know, but
listen, call me. Call me. I want to just say this because I think we all, I'm not going to speak to no one, but I didn't come up in a house where we talked about finances. My mother didn't sit me down and plan and show me a budget. I knew nothing about credit. So I got this to this level through the trenches. And yes, there were mistakes. Yes, I was in the bad check restitution program. Yes, there was some issues financially. But let me tell you, through research of my own, hard work, you reprogram yourself to not do those bad things. I think we have a generation of people that need to be reprogrammed. Our
Mhm.
folks have to be built
Yes.
up to understand money is a tool to be used, right? Like we have to make this work for us because other people are. We're not going to say who the others are. Other people is making it work.
Yeah.
And that generational wealth thing, my mother, for her to tell me, for me to fix my mother's credit and my mother, you understand, for you to be in positions where that's what I want my child to know more than I am so she can take her kids to the next level. I want them to own banks, but we have to, it's generational, you guys. We have to change everybody's mindset on insurance, on finances, on credit, on saving, on budgeting, on everything, planning. When you said something earlier about your business, Elaine, we all have to know every year. This is what I tell people. Every year when you do your annual report, you should be sitting down thinking about what I'm gonna do this year for my business. What's my next move? What's my next level? Because without a plan, nothing's going to happen. You have no vision. You don't know where you're going. You don't know how things are changing, accelerating, or slowing down. You have to plan everything professionally and personally to stay on task. That's how you was able to get them nails done, girl. You paid them bills and you planned to make sure there's some coins left over for them nails. You see what I'm saying? It's time for we can have both. We don't have to choose if we do it right and we plan.
Yes. Yes.
Be on
Yes.
it, y'all.
Yes.
It's coming.
Yep.
And I just want to add to that, if I could, not to tell my story or anything, but I've always been with single mothers. And you're right, Vivian, that when you talk to them about life insurance or any type of business that they want to start or anything, you would be shocked. Well, you probably wouldn't, but I am surprised how they just don't know. They've never been taught this stuff. They've never been trained this stuff. They never thought it was important. And then when I got the idea from Tiffany, because she said it one day and I pay attention to everything and she doesn't even know this. I haven't even shared this with her. But, having the client when they're getting their return back to pay up insurance for a year, I thought that blew my mind because I had never thought to do that. So I'm like, okay, I ain't getting no refund back, but let me pay this insurance up for a year. But to tell single mothers that, and I really try to cater to single mothers and let them know, because I was there for 13 years. I was there, went back to school, didn't know, I learned through the trenches, like you say, but being that voice to educate them because it's definitely needed now. It was needed back then as well, but definitely needed now because they have no clue. I mean, they think this GoFundMe, that's a thing, wherever that came from, that's a thing. So we're just going to do that,
That's the thing. It's a profit because GoFundMe make money now. I paid it to GoFundMe. I gave $275 and GoFundMe got $75.
Then family members get to fighting about it. Okay. So it is, but you're right. They definitely need to be educated on the things that matter in life and how you can get ahead, not live paycheck to paycheck, build generational wealth and all of that because it's needed. It's needed.
Yeah.
And even down to basics with what what you guys do with credit repair. I can't tell you how many people when I was working on the platform in banking, did not know how to balance a checkbook. These same people are starting businesses and don't know how to balance their business checkbook.
Don't know how to write a check.
You don't know how to write a check. You don't know how to balance a checkbook. Tiffany is laughing because she knows I'm telling the truth. People will tell me things, and literally I'll pick up the phone and say, Tiffany, I didn't laugh, but this is what I just heard.
Right.
And then we talk about it because
yeah.
it's the truth,
Mhm,
now,
mhm.
talking about where we come from is my mom was a business owner. I'm a lot like in there with where Tiffany, we lost Marissa. So yeah, we lost her. But my mom was a business owner, but the one thing that I do remember, and I say to myself all the time, she raised 6 kids and we never went without. And if we were without, we didn't know about it, right? Now,
Mhm.
when I became a single mom, I had to keep telling myself that, and that's what pushed me through school. And I had to teach myself the things that she didn't teach me, or I just didn't pay attention to because it was necessary for me to survive it. Now, this part of life is supposed to be my reclining years of life. And I'm still in a position where I'm building. So my question to myself, my mother is at 40, 45, 40. So in her 40s, she retired. So when I hit my 40s, she was like, why aren't you retired? Didn't I teach you better? Now I have to look at myself and say, okay, what didn't I do? What can I do better so that when in the next few years I can retire and sell that brand name?
Mhm.
People don't think that way.
No, they don't.
What they think about is how much lines of credits they have on their credit card that they can utilize without thinking about how they're going to pay that credit card off or how it's going to impact.
And then they're going to file bankruptcy to get rid of it
Exactly.
and do it all over
again. And it's cyclical. So if you're doing something on a regular basis and you end up right back where you were, then you need to know that you need to derail yourself.
Amen.
It's a cycle.
It's a cycle.
Yeah.
So all of the basic things, the basic elements of living financially, getting out of the area in which you live, getting out of the area of the people that you associate with. I associate with women that are winners. I choose not to talk to people that are not winners.
Facts.
Yeah.
If you're not going anywhere and if you're just talking about going somewhere and we're still talking about it and it's 15 years later, trust me, you're not going nowhere. You need to do something else.
Yeah.
Derail yourself.
Yeah.
Derail yourself because you're not doing what you need to do to get
Mhm.
there. And what happens with people is that you become the product of your environment.
Yeah, you do. You really do. Yeah.
So in saying that, I have disassociated myself with people that are not going places, and I have realigned myself with people that are going in the same direction I am, and most of them are further than me because I need to get where you are. So I need to understand where you are. How do you get
There
there?
you go.
Yep.
And
That's
that
right.
comes. And so now when we're talking with our key basic community today on Facebook, I challenge you to figure out how many hours you spend on Facebook and what you like. What are you actually looking at?
Yep.
What are you feeding yourself? There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. What are you doing? What are you feeding yourself on Facebook? And then I challenge you to figure out how do you manage your budget in your household so
Do you
that
even have a budget? Come on
do
now.
you even have one?
Make that budget.
It's in my head.
You need to see it, man. That thing is important.
Yeah. And then here it goes. You're saying that you're a business owner. How profitable is your business?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Right.
are you willing to make the adjustments to make it profitable?
Right. Yeah.
Or are you going to just keep pushing it thinking that it's going to just change all of a sudden? You have to make adjustments.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And now here's the other thing. Who is your advisor?
Your mentor.
The
Do you
person
have a
that
mentor?
your tax person, the person that does your taxes, if they're not explaining your taxes to you, if they can't advise you on your business and your flow of life, then what do you have them for?
A data entry clerk.
If they're where you're at, then you need a new tax advisor.
There you go. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. So I mean, we're going to get ready to wrap it up, but it's like, you know what? Every time somebody say something,
I know. I'm shutting up. I'm putting a
right?
shut to the
You
up.
know, but I'm just saying the last thing, right? I'm gonna hit the end broadcast button, right? So, but but you know, really what Elaine was saying, you know, what everybody was saying, you know, just really positioning yourself, right, to create that financial. And you don't even, some people don't want financial freedom, right? They don't want a whole bunch of money, but financial stability. If you don't want, you know, financial wealth, you know, and that could really mean so many different things to people. But it's like, you know, you want to put yourself in a position where you can live where you want to live. Not live where you can just afford to live. That's a big difference. You know, I'm living here because this is all I can afford. You know, you want to do better and show your children better as well. And, you know, I just want to close with this because I could go on and on. So I'm going to cut it short. But now we all know about COVID and this pandemic that's been going on forever. Now, the way that I think is if that wasn't enough to wake y'all up and make you realize that you have to do something different to secure your finances, I honestly don't know what will. You know, because it's a lot of things out here and we need to do it the right way, right? And I always say, you got to be ready. You can't get ready when an opportunity presents itself. And that's a problem that a lot of us have. You know, I have people, because I also do real estate, right? So, and it's the same thing with insurance. People know they about to die, now they want to get a policy. It don't work that way. You know, the same thing with real estate. You know, you want to come to me and you want to buy a house.
I do.
But you just got the job yesterday.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? You don't have no money in the bank. You have nothing saved up. Oh, well, I heard about the first time home buyer grants. And they are around. But first of all, it's limitations to that as far as the amount of income. And even when you get assistance to help you buy a house, you still got to bring money to the table. The only time you probably won't have to bring money to the table if you get seller's assist. And that's when the person you're buying the house from is willing to give you money towards your closing costs.
And that ain't happening in this market.
You have right now money. You know, or now they getting ready. They want to buy a house. Oh my God, what we in? We in July. So now we about to be in August. They say, hey, Tiffany, I want to buy a house. I want to buy it by the August the 15th. And then you look at their credit and their credit is a 303.
And they paying everything late still.
Yeah, and they still paying everything. It's like, come on. You have to be ready. Even when it comes to buying a house and getting these grants, guess what? Your credit score has to be a certain number. And a lot of times it's higher. It's actually higher than it would be required to be if you didn't need that assistance. Because even though you go through the bank or the mortgage broker, right? When you need that money from a company or organization, you know, that grant money, you got to go off of their terms and conditions. So it no longer, what the mortgage broker told you no longer applies. It's what they say. You know, and the crazy part about that, people need their money and then get mad about what they trying to tell you need to do. You know, so again, I'm just going to say, hey, you know what? That's why we did this, and just put yourself in a position to be ready.
That's right.
Stay ready in itself. Well, don't try to get ready because guess what? That opportunity is going to pass you by. And guess what? Sometimes opportunities don't resurface. And you know, you had people say, well, it wasn't meant to be. No, some things was meant to be. You just wasn't ready. That's a big difference.
Missed it. Yep.
Yeah. So we're going to close it with that. I hope y'all enjoyed it. We hope to see everybody next week. The recording will be posted to the social media platforms. Feel free to share it. And next week we'll have more information. We'll also have information on how you can get in contact with us. But to be honest, if you're looking on Facebook, or you got to go to our Facebook page, you know, all the information is definitely there. And, you know, we want everybody to have a blessed night.
Yes.
Yes.
Good night, you guys.
Bye.
Bye, ladies. I will see y'all again. Yes. Tiffany, I don't know how to turn us off, so I'm gonna just sit here.
Yeah, I'm gonna just hit
I'm gonna just sit here too.
Yep.
Look, we all got our hand on our chin.
Like, I'm just gonna